picture of Haiti that most people see and seem to know, and it's one of extreme poverty. Virtually everyone's living below the poverty level and eating cakes made out of dirt. It's not your experience, he said.
That was and still is Haiti. Haiti, yes, it's the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Yes, the poverty is astronomical. But Haitians are survivors, and they understand and know how to survive and how to live, how to fend for themselves, and how to get by. So if you ask me if I saw that on a daily basis, I would see it, but I didn't see pain. I saw people learning how to get by. They would sell anything they could make. They learned how to fend for themselves and live for themselves, which is why, and I'm sure we'll talk about this, but after the earthquake, it's not like you saw 1,000, 1,000,000 Haitians just holding their hand out. They wanted a job. When I went down there, they wanted to work for me to translate. They wanted to make things. They want to work. They want to earn what they get, and that's what makes the Haitian spirit such a unique spirit. So no, I didn't see it on a daily basis, and there were some very beautiful parts of that country that were not as much affected by everything that we saw up here.
So would you say then you were somewhat a little more privileged than the average Haitian there?
Yes, yeah. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. We went down there as Americans, and the American government definitely tried to take care of their people while they were down there. But we had, Haitians that lived with us, and my friends were Haitian that were in the house all the time, and I was at their houses, so I learned the language. I spoke to people. I was outside, until it was nighttime, and I was outside first thing in the morning. In the Caribbean, you wake up before the sun comes up, and you go to bed after the sun goes down. So I really felt like I was part of the culture and part of the people.
And you don't get to go back often to Haiti, do you?
As you well know, it's a very dangerous country, and before the hurricane, it was extremely volatile, and you never knew which government was going to be down there and how safe it was. So even though my father does travel back and forth on business, he felt it was safer for both my brother and myself to stay up here until the country was a little bit more stable.
So the family still has some connection there? Your father
Absolutely. My father does have the factory still down there in Haiti right now.
What are your fondest memories of there?
I loved the routine. The routine was we get up and, we went to school, and school started so early. It was like 6:45 in the morning because it got so hot, and I loved the people that came down there. It was small classes and small grades. And then after school, it was just a very natural lifestyle. We went swimming, and we played tennis, and we came home and played in the backyard, and we weren't inundated with technology and computers and toys, and no, we were playing out on trees and running up and down the streets. So I think the thing I remember most was really the simple, comfortable lifestyle that I was privileged to be able to live.
You went back after the earthquake?
I went back a few days after the earthquake struck Haiti.
What sort of emotions did you feel? Seeing what you saw at the time.
It was a far more emotional experience than I was prepared for. What was my school, what was Union School, was now basically a makeshift home for these homeless people that didn't have anywhere else to go. And my father's factory was rattled to the core, where people were just waiting outside trying to get back in who had survived. The destruction was unimaginable, and at that point you really see it. You see the death, you see the poverty, you see the hunger, you see everything that you had read about. I mean, literally, Mother Nature took this country, shook it, and then walked away, and that's exactly what it looked like: rubble and fire and the smoke and the ashes and the bodies. It was horrific. It was absolutely horrific.
You went as a journalist. You couldn't take that emotion away from you. You cried.
It was impossible. It was impossible to separate the two. I found this woman who had been living with us. Her name was Andrée. She lived with us for many years while I was growing up, and I went down there, and the piece that I put together was looking for her. We'd spent the whole day looking for her, and when I finally found her at the end of the day at the top of this mountain, when we were exhausted, my emotions got the best of me, and it goes to show what an important part of my life the Haitian people were to me. Yeah, I lost it. I cried.
Today, national correspondent Jenna Wolfe grew up in Haiti and is in Port-au-Prince this morning. Jenna, good morning to you.
And good morning to you, Meredith. I did grow up here. I spent 12 long years here, and I've seen the poverty, I have seen the violence, but I wanted to come back and see for myself the place that meant so much to me. And what I found was that it was the people, and one person in particular who holds a very dear and special place in my heart, who helped restore my faith in the human spirit. Hey, you. How are you? Thank you.
My first stop was to my father's button factory to see how it fared in the earthquake. Thankfully, my dad was stateside at the time. Emily George is my father's assistant. She was the last one left in the building that day.
Where does this rate on the scale of tragedy, of everything you've seen in this country over the last couple of years?
There is no word for that. It's terrible.
It's terrible.
Despite widespread power outages and some sizable cracks in the building, workers still show up every day in the hopes that somehow the factory will be open and the routines of daily life will return.
Jusqu'à ma papa vient ici?
Oui.
He's going to stay here until he gets some word of what happened. His house is ruined. He's had a family member pass away, and he says he continues to smile because he's alive. Ben, merci beaucoup. Oh.
Next, I moved on to my old school, Union School. 20 years later, it's unrecognizable to me, and not for anything that's happening in the classroom.
There's nothing here. There's nothing inside. It's all destroyed.
The soccer field has become a makeshift tent city for over 1,000 people with little food and water. Patience is beginning to wear thin. The people living here lost everything. Now they just wait. They don't know what, if any, help will come. This little girl lost her mother, and she cries every time she sees a woman. She cries out of confusion and loss.
Wow.
I also wanted to see my old house.
Was the house affected by the earthquake at all?
Yeah, just in front.
The
from
cracks.
the stairs.
This wasn't so much to see if it was still standing, but to see if I could find a woman by the name of Andrée, who had meant so much to me during my time in Haiti, who cared for me throughout my childhood. Our trek to find her led us all over Port-au-Prince to people I hadn't seen in years.
Oh, you got the little gray. C'est tout là? Là-bas?
This gentleman recognized her picture and brought us to her older sister.
Même papa.
This is her sister. She's not here. They're saying she's up in Petroville, where I used to live.
From here, we learned that she may be at home atop this hill.
Tu vas bien? Oui, je suis pas mort.
Le photo. I hold this picture all the time.
No.
I didn't know what happened to you.
Papa, maman, good. Again.
You know, they say you can't fully prepare for what you'll see when you come into an environment like this, and it's so much more than the physical destruction. There's an emotional toll that it takes on anyone, whether you're down here for a day or two to help out, or like me in my case, you're down here back after many years having lived here and seeing the pain on these faces that have been through so much over the years. So for me, this was a very, very emotional trip back.
What was most touching when you went there and you saw all of that? And
I think the most touching thing for me was, you know, when I grew up, when I needed something, I looked to her, and now for the first time, she looked to me. You know, they didn't have a roof. There was 18 people living in a small little concrete slab with a little plastic tarp over them. I mean, she looked to me with this helplessness in her eyes, and it was so overwhelming, and it just ripped me to the core. And you want to do everything you can, and you want to give of yourself in ways that you're not capable of. And I think that's what was the most emotional for me.
You told me earlier, in reference to Haiti, well, the American people, government took care of its people. You're American. You said your mother is from New Jersey. You're born in Jamaica, as we said at the top. Grew up in Haiti. To a Puerto Rican father. Are you Jamaican?
Am I Jamaican? Am I Haitian? Am I American? You know, I'm so proud that I had a Jamaican citizenship up until 18, but I think at the end of the day, I'm more proud that I spent the bulk of my formative years in Haiti, and I consider myself a Haitian. I have the Haitian license plate that we had on my car. It comes with me everywhere I go. I have Haitian art in my apartment here in New York. When I see the Haitian flag, I get excited about it. I was born in Jamaica, and I love the Jamaican people, and I am Irie to the core, but I'm also Haitian, and there's something about that country that it just invigorates me when I read about it, talk about it, visit it, or think about it.
Oh, are you simply a Caribbean national?
Yes, let's go with that one. I'm going to go with a Caribbean national.
From now on, you're a Caribbean national.
Yes, definitely.